Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara.
Tiffany.
Of course, I'm Ron.
And we have some beautiful ladies joining us today. Would you all like to introduce yourselves?
Hi, well, my name is Channelle, and I'm a huge fan of you guys. So thank you for inviting me here.
Welcome.
And I'm Nita, your favorite diva. Thank you for having me. I'm from the DMV area.
All right. Welcome. And last but not least.
Okay, I'm Moochie from Moochilla's Reviews.
Hey.
Hey, Brillo.
How you doing?
All right. So.
Good. So please introduce yourself. The ladies already got started, so you can introduce yourself.
It's Brillo The Big review. I didn't know they was gonna have my government on here on the Zoom. Gotta adjust that real quick. Appreciate the invite.
Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it too. And I think our guest is here as well. Sure. So Ron, if you don't mind, we don't want to keep our guest waiting too long.
Right.
Here we go.
Ooh, hello.
Hey.
How are you today? Well, we are so glad to have you, and for all of our guests joining us. Obviously, you recognize the face if you've been watching Bel-Air. This is Jordan Jones, who plays the role of Jazz on Bel-Air. Yes, so happy to have you. Thank you for joining us and taking the time out of your day. We are very excited.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, for real.
Definitely a pleasure of ours.
All right, so we are going to go ahead and jump right into things because we got a lot of questions for you, and I'm sure you're going to be entertained by some of these questions because we argue a lot on this channel about your role specifically.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ron,
sisters held you down now. I think me and Tiara held you down.
We definitely tried because
don't even get me started, Jazz.
I can't wait for this.
Let's get into it. Tiff, Ron, y'all want to go ahead and kick things off?
I'll do so if you don't mind.
Okay. Yes.
So Jordan, your character Jazz on the highly acclaimed Bel-Air was one of the most challenging aspects of portraying Jazz on Bel-Air. And how do you prepare your role for that for the episodes?
I think the greatest part about my role in this show is that the original Fresh Prince and now are two completely different shows. Like they really are. Like a lot of reboots is the same exact formula. So this one is not at all. As you know, like in this one, Jazz gets Hillary. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of different nuances within the show. So people ask me that all the time, but the truth of the matter is, like, when I auditioned for the show, I kind of just did my own take on it because when you're looking at the script and you see the tone of the script and stuff like that, you realize that you can't really act like the original guy because it's not going to translate. Like a lot of stuff that the original character went through, like I don't go through. Like people always ask, like, when you gonna get thrown out the house? I'm like, I haven't done anything to get thrown out the house. Like it's not just we taking stuff like gimmicky stuff from the first one and just throwing it in. So when it comes to preparing for the role, like I talked to Jeffrey, DJ Jazzy Jeff, man, and he was just saying I was just doing such a good job and to not change nothing and just be you. And I feel like when you're an actor and you're looking at the scripts that you get and you kind of have your own take on something, sometimes it sticks, sometimes it doesn't. But for however I portrayed the role, it's something that people really enjoy. So I try not to change nothing, for real. It's not like when I'm in the trailer, I'm like, okay, well, how would let me watch Fresh Prince and see how he would do like it wouldn't translate. So I take the script, I take certain things from my life. I just, take my ability and trust myself and the choices that I make. Thank God that they've worked and people mess with the character. But yeah, it's no secret formula or somebody I study or some way that I'm going into the role from the first audition, just how I did that and how I envisioned this character. That's just how I took it. And like I said, I'm just thankful that you guys mess with it.
So it's safe to say that Jordan and Jazz are one of the same.
Well, yes, there are differences. There are a lot of differences, but I will say I always say this all the time. I always say that in acting too, we're all acting on the show, and I think that we all do a great job acting. But I also think that there's a different way of acting depending on your character. So for
Mhm.
me, Jazz was more like I didn't really have to change who I was to play the character. Maybe we don't go through everything the same. Maybe we don't, experience the same exact things, but I take certain things that I can bring to the character. Unlike I'll give you an example, man. Like Adrian, Uncle Phil, man, plays a great Uncle Phil. But like the way that he is in the show is not how he is. That's not him, man. Like he speaks differently in the show. He speaks with his diaphragm. So his voice is more like this, but on the show it's like this, you know? So
Right.
like I don't have to do that, you know. But Adrian, and I would say even I'm giving you guys too much information, but Cassandra, who plays Aunt Viv,
Uh-huh.
man, she's so different too. I know oh my gosh, the black woman. She is a stand-up comedian. She is never serious. She's she is so there's differences in obviously like playing these characters. But for me, I just kind of took certain things that are really from my life, and applied it to the character. I'm not um it's not like I had to like really like dive like really, really deep and try to like act like this guy where I just kind of brought my own stuff to it.
Okay.
Yeah, it translates well. It
That's
feels
good.
It
very
does.
authentic.
It
Mhm.
does.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Tiff?
Yeah. And Jordan, Nita and I had the pleasure of meeting you at ABFF, American Black Film Festival. It was
In Miami,
2022
yeah.
at the welcome reception
Yeah.
and stuff. So that was really cool. And it's funny, you answered the question that I had about whether Jazzy Jeff gave you some inspiration. So I'm just gonna go to my other question,
Okay.
which is about Hillary.
Okay.
Ah,
Yeah.
Because we saw the season finale.
Okay.
We saw the season finale, and Jazz went down there and gave her gave her the ring back and stuff. And I saw that once you saw that she was resolved, that she was gonna go ahead and go through it with LaMarcus, you were like, okay, I see you happy.
Yeah.
But now it looks like LaMarcus may have kicked the bucket. So I'm like, so Jazz, shoulder, you gonna be the shoulder for Hillary to cry on? I mean,
Man, I mean, that's a great question. To simply answer, like, I don't know, right? But
right, right.
but to just to answer kind of as maybe Jazz, I would say this. What I really love about Bel-Air is that like we show all of the nuances of like the Black experience
mhm,
and Black relationships,
mhm,
the Black hierarchy, the Black inner city. We show everything. What I love about me and Hillary's journey is that we get a chance to, fall in love, like find other people, come back. But I think the same thing that stays consistent is that a relationship is built off friendship. So no matter what happens, it seems as if Hillary and Jazz can't get away from each other because they actually love each other. You know,
Right.
sometimes in life things don't, work out the way that, that sometimes you love people and you can't be with them. It just is what it is. Sometimes that's just life.
mhm.
So with this, I felt like I really enjoyed that, my ending in season 3, because of course everybody's like, oh, I thought you was gonna pull a Dwayne Wayne from Different World and go up there and get your girl back. And it's like the funny thing is, we might have, but because we knew that that was what everybody was going to see coming, we're not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Um, and I really enjoyed that last in episode 9, how she comes to the house and we kind of have like this kind of farewell, hangout session. And I just felt like that was so important because, at first everyone thinks they were like, we're gonna have sex or something. And it's really just like one time to get each other out of our system, one last time to like hang out like we did before. And that last scene when she actually gets married and I'm standing there, I think it's great because it's one of those things to where it's like, if you love somebody, you can let them go. you know, and at the end of the day, I just want her to be happy. So it wasn't also like I'm jealous and stop the wedding and she belongs with me. I may think those things internally, but at the end of the day, if I want you to be happy and I love you, whatever choice you make, I'm gonna support you, even if I at first, you know, don't want you to or whatever the case may be. Um, you know, I'm gonna support you no matter what decision that you make. So that was I love that scene because it was one of those like, okay, she's married. I came out here, I gave her a ring. She's happy, she looks happy. I've done my job, you know. Now, LaMarcus is you know, so I don't so I'm not really sure how they're gonna write it. I hope, and obviously, you know, we talk to the writers and have certain discussions, but we don't want it to be on some, oh, Hillary and Jazz got right back together because, you know, her nigga died. You know, like we don't want that.
Right.
It's gonna, number one, it's gonna be very like, yeah, we saw that coming, you know. Also, for me as a character, I don't want it to be like, oh yeah, fine, you know, oh now she got married to this guy because she died. Oh, I'm back in there.
Right.
I think that our writers are so good, and you know they're gonna find a way, probably to bring us back together. Maybe not. You know, at the end of the day, I'm not in the writers' room. Sometimes I do, you know, just talk to them, just to have conversation, just about like where my character's going and like what are their ideas for season 4. But they're doing a good job of keeping you guys on your toes about like stuff happening and not happening. So I'm just excited to see, you know, what they gonna write for you, brother.
You hear that, Ron? Because we had a huge debate about that.
Yeah, what did you think?
I have to say, in absence of time and all the other folks we have here, I'm not going to get into it right now. But she put me on Jump Street here, so I'm just gonna I'm gonna table that in case we have a few more minutes after the show.
Okay,
before the show is over. She called me out, so you know at some point I have to.
Yeah, answer. So now you gotta get your rebuttal in.
Exactly.
Yes, you pretty much confirmed what me and Tiara was trying to say, though. Yeah, I think you validated our argument, and so I'll just let that go so everybody else can have their turn.
Okay, so we know that you was right. Okay, I got it. Okay,
exactly. Now, my question for you was about kind of the more serious side of jazz, because you know original jazz was very cavalier and playful, but your take on jazz is kind of a little more serious, and you have this family legacy that you're trying to uphold. What are your thoughts on how that kind of went this season in terms of you fighting for your family legacy?
Man, once again, I really enjoyed that as well. And I think mainly because, you know, as an actor, you know, you want to be challenged. And what I love, because Coco is, Coco is Coco. Like she's a tremendous artist. She's a wonderful actress. But one of the things that I was so happy about this season is because we weren't together, you got a chance to really like navigate through Jazz's life and the things that he finds important and the things that he's willing to fight for outside of just the relationship with Hillary. So you know, when it comes to, just being a man and standing for what you believe in and how, certain things are priceless. At the end of the day, they were offering me a lot of money, probably more than I deserved for the record shop. We got the money for my car, but I still wasn't willing to just give up, my legacy and the things that I planned to do with, my my uncle that passed away. And so no amount of money, I mean, and that kind of goes to life. There's certain situations I'm sure you guys have all been through where it's like either this or you can take the money or you can kind of sacrifice, kind of who you are, the things that you've gone through in life to build you up to be a certain way. Are you going to throw all of that away because of money? And so what I love about this season is me just navigating more of a relationship with Will and Carlton, more of a relationship with some outside characters that believe in the same things that I believe in. You get a chance to really see Jazz navigate kind of like not Bel-Air, but I guess the LA world. And it's not so focused on just, oh my God, are you with Hillary? Yeah. And so all those things were really important to me. It's so interesting because my mother lives in Inglewood. So the plot line, we always say in the acting where art imitates life. And the plot line means so many things that have happened to Jazz have literally been so parallel with my actual life. one of the things is my mother lives in Inglewood and my mom owns in Inglewood, thank God. But this whole gentrification because of SoFi and the new Clipper Stadium and taking down stuff that has been there for years to try to gentrify the community. Gentrification is good in some aspects, but a lot of people are going to be losing a lot of things. So it kind of goes back to who you are as a human being, and what you value. And jazz is a very is this the word moralistic? But whatever, a guy who believes in his morals and his values.
Mhm.
And I'm just so thankful that in this season he can go through that and also have people that have his back as well. It's not like he's doing this on his own. So
Yeah.
that was great to show.
Okay. Yeah. I really enjoyed where they took that this season.
Yeah. For
So
real.
for our guests, is there anyone that wants to hop in first?
I could hop in real quick.
All right, Brillo.
What's up? I'm fucking huge fan. Hey, I can't lie to you. Me and my people, we had you in that Simp Hall of Fame. Which we are anti
Wait, the Wall of Fame?
The Simp Hall of Fame.
Wow.
But we took you up out of there. Because did you know that line about Hillary being a track star was going to be so fire? And did you know, when you read that line, I know you knew that was, you like, oh yeah, this fire right here.
What's crazy to answer you, I'm glad you asked that question. I actually, when we read it in the table read, when you read it in the table read, sometimes it's more cold. Like you don't really know really what's going on. So you're kind of just reading everything as line by line, reading her lines, like, oh, that's what she says. Okay, now it's me, instead of knowing the situation. When I first read that line, I thought it was weak. I thought it was corny. I swear. I was like, because we're just reading it at a table. And I was like, you're a track star, FloJo all day. I didn't say it with no, I just was reading it. And I was like, I'm a track star. Like, I get it, but like, it seems forced, whatever. That's the beauty of acting. So when I was like, I know this is my line, I gotta make her eat that. So it's funny. I didn't want to do the line at first. I wanted to say like Sha'Carri Richardson or somebody. Like, I just thought it could be more current, even though FloJo, we all know FloJo like fastest woman ever, like like we get that, but I just thought that it wasn't as current as I wanted it to be. But I think that's the beautiful thing about this whole entire thing is a dance. Yes, I'm an actor, but this whole thing is a dance. So it's about writing, acting, the lighting, the camera work, everything. So you kind of just gotta trust it. And I was like, okay, I can just make this a certain way. And when I said that line, dude, Twitter, Instagram, everything, they went crazy. And I was like, wow, that's so funny how God works. Because I really didn't even want to do that line. And I did it. And people were like, woo, he ate her up. So thanks for taking me out the simp. Thanks for taking me out the simp.
Oh, you out of there. Certified.
That's love. I'm back. And also, I agree with you. I'm going through that as well, to where, like, if you see season 2, there's a episode where like my card declines and Hillary's like, I'll pay for it. And I'm like, I don't want you to pay for it. And we come back to the house and I say, like, man, if it was LaMarcus, you would have let him try again. And when we did that line, I had talked to the writers and I was like, man, I would never say that. Like, insecurity is a part of human nature. But like for me and like how I was raised and taught, it's like I will complain to my friends, my mom, but I can't show her that I'm insecure about this dude in front of her face. And the writers were like, see, that's the difference. You're not Jazz. Playing Jazz. Jazz would do that because we created him. And I'm like, oh, I forgot. So you kind of have to go into that mode where it's like, no, this isn't me. This is the character. And the character was going through something where he didn't care about that. He had no pride when it came to that. And he was like, man, I'm gonna say he had pride when it comes to paying, but he didn't pride when it comes to staying a G. He didn't do that. And I was like, man, I would never do that. But they were like, dude, but Jazz would. So there's some simpy stuff that he's done. Just certain, interactions that he's had with Hillary, whatever, that I agree with you, bro, where I'm like, man, he kind of look whack right now, especially from the first season. He was just so cool, but every person has layers. So I'm kind of glad that they kind of opened my eyes to that, and it's helped me be able to like really hone in on the character and not worry about really what's written, just delivering it.
At least you're protective of your character, though.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, too, me and my friends talk about this, like, no matter what it is, when I do something, they're not going to say, oh, that was such and such who wrote episode 6. They're not going to do that. They're going to look at the person who they see is saying these things, and now everything is on them. So I completely understand as an actor being like, hey, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this because the life that I'm going to have to live afterwards, you guys don't have to deal with. But there are certain things you kind of got to just kind of like charge it to the game and understand who you are, understand you're playing a character. And also, people don't like certain things because you played the role so well. You know, Ollie's really good at that. Ollie plays Carlton. When people, man, that first season, man, we will be out. And we will be out, and people would literally walk up and be like, oh, yeah, I hate you. And we'd be like, oh my God. But Ollie took it, you know, he's just like, you only hate me because I'm good at it. You know?
True.
So, but as he in his right would be to be like, yo, there's certain stuff y'all doing too much. Like, even if they said, no, you can't change it and we want you to do it, his concern is valid because we have to walk around and live our lives when everyone else has this kind of level of anonymity that we don't. But yeah, it's a fine line, but also you have to kind of you have to separate yourself from the character as well. So
Absolutely.
All right, ladies, y'all want to hop in?
Well, nice to meet you, Jordan. My name is Channelle. I just want to say I love the complexity of your character between, dealing with social justice issues, romance. I even love the relationship you have with Will. And you always got some fly gear and little honey dips every now and again that you, as OG Will would say, like little honey dips. But there's so many questions I have, but I guess since you have been dealing with so many different issues on the show, what is one like topic or storyline would you be interested in your character pursuing next episode? Let's say if the writers are like, hey, Jordan, let's get some input. What would you like to tackle? Is there anything that you would suggest?
yeah, I think I really like the whole plot line this season of how like I'm losing kind of like my business because of certain real things in life that are going on, such as what I said earlier, like gentrification and things of that nature. But I would love, even though it's called Bel-Air, I would love to kind of explore more of like inner city Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we do, hopefully they don't see this and take this and then be like, oh yeah, we knew this a while ago. But hopefully, if you guys watch the original Fresh Prince, some of the things that we do, we may take an episode and kind of flush it out and kind of make that a part of the character. So as you, obviously you guys know, Carlton is, on drugs, but that I think what that does, and I've never actually asked, but I think that what that did was it's stemmed from that episode when he did the speed and in the original Fresh Prince and kind of what I think they just kind of elaborated on that. Um, there's an episode in the original where Carlton kind of goes to the hood and he goes to where Jazz kicks it. And Will is down there and they're trying to teach him kind of like how to navigate. There's another episode, and I know you guys know this one, the one when Carlton goes and pledges that fraternity with Will, but they don't let him in because he's too white. I would love to have an episode where we do that. We've actually kind of pitched it. We'll see if it goes, but I would love to have an episode where like Carlton comes to kind of like where I stay and we kind of navigate that world. I just think it'll be a funny juxtaposition. In any way that they want to do it, but I just feel like that would be fun and funny and kind of be like in a way like a more elaborate teaching moment as well. Because I think that those, even though those are sitcom episodes, it taught a lot about, even in this 30 minutes, just about like you can't, just because of the way you talk or who you are, it's not going to take away from your blackness. Like that's why Bel-Air is so great, because we show all facets of the black experience. All of these people are black. They're from different places and so on and so forth. But we are a part of the black community. And so I feel like if we can, hopefully we can kind of touch on that a little bit, I think it will be fun and funny and informative. So yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, that would definitely be dope. Moochie or Nita, do y'all have anything y'all want to join in? Or you can say a question or a comment about the season or the character.
Oh, okay. I did use the running track star as one of my shorts, so because that was a good line.
That was a hot line.
That was a hot line. And that, like I said, I made that into a short. But I wanted to ask you, will we see you and Yolanda hook up? Or
Man, that's
is she gonna be here next season, or are you going to go into anything political? You probably can't tell me that, but
yeah, I
that's
was
a
gonna
good aspect. I like the way that you and her seem to be kind of like,
right, it's something there.
meshing.
It's something there.
Mm-hmm.
I like that with this season, especially because it makes Hillary jealous. Um, that was great. But I think that yeah, I think that's one of those things where you just gotta wait and see. Because I haven't heard everything. Um, I've heard a couple of things, there's certain stuff that they're thinking about, taking my character, but yeah, I think that would be too much of a spoiler. So I can't I
Right.
can't let you know that one.
Yeah. Okay. Anita, you got
Okay.
any?
Hey, Jordan.
How you doing?
I absolutely love that they turned a sitcom like Bel-Air, I mean, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to a drama
Yeah.
series. Absolutely love it. It gives you guys layers. It for me, no shade to Jazzy Jeff. You know what I'm saying? No shade, no
Oh, here
shade.
we go. No, I'm playing. No.
I know, you know what I'm saying? It's no shade. But the way they wrote your character in this, it elevates that character just across the board. So just want to say kudos for handling that. You got it. Love it. You
Thank
were
you.
great in this in this season as well. Love the complexities and stuff like that. But I really don't have a question. This round table, they have covered all of everything, but I did want to give you your flowers. Wanted to give you your flowers and give you your kudos.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm glad I'm doing a good job, man, for
Yeah.
You
real.
are.
You
You
did a
really are.
fantastic job.
You're doing a wonderful job.
One of the things that I wanted to bring up, and it was something that my co-host Tiffany had brought up earlier, and it's many faceted, but one
Okay.
of the things that was about your shop. Now, I have to ask, you owe Uncle Sam,
Yeah.
and Uncle Sam's going to get his, okay, irrespective of what it is you think you may want to do or the community. If you owe Uncle Sam, you owe Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
I was more in line of thinking that Uncle Phil had a job to do, and that job wasn't necessarily beneficial to what you needed. And the question is, how did Jazz feel about initially when Uncle Phil didn't seem to want to throw you a lifeline, and I guess in terms of cash, but what he did offer you was a means to get out of Uncle Sam's way and provide you with another means of, to perhaps start anew someplace else. How did Jazz feel about Uncle Phil's proposal?
Man, that's a great question, man. I think that, it was two jazzes. Well, actually, I think it was three jazzes. The first one was the prideful jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Who that no matter what it is, if it's taxes, if it's just payment on, the record shop, at the end of the day, he don't want to take no handouts. He's never done that. As you can tell through season 1 and 2, he's always had a problem with Hillary doing any little
Mm-hmm.
thing for him.
Right.
So a lot of that was just pride, no matter what you go through, it's like, nah, I don't need nobody. I can do this by myself. I've been doing it by myself. I think that's one of the reasons why he has certain confidence because he hasn't needed anybody. His uncle passed away. Like he don't really have family like that. And he's just doing it himself. And that's one of the things that he can hang his hat on when he go to sleep at night is that like, no matter what, I got this all by myself. I think that there's also what's so funny too that you guys don't know is that there's stuff that when you guys see the show, there's a way that we may have shot it. There might be extra lines that we have done, but then for the show, they'll cut it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you an example. When Uncle Phil goes to that record shop, they kind of cut it out, but it was a longer moment when he shows me how much money that they were willing to offer me so then I can get off, back pay.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of more or so am more contemplating more than you guys see. That I'm like, oh wow, like I kind of say it out loud. I'm like, what? I'm like $5 million. I'm like, wow, like this is a lot of money. Like and I'm kind of going through it. And as I'm going through it in my mind, then that's when Uncle Phil stops me like, yo, take your time and just let me know what you do. I think they wanted the character to play it more like, no, I don't care what this money is, man. I think that that's how they wanted Jazz to be. But that's the side too of Jazz where it's like, this is a lot of money. I'm not stupid at the same exact time. I also know that maybe I can take this money and do some things that I had planned for Charlie's Vinyl, maybe make a bigger shop or whatever. So a lot of it is it's really 50-50. It's really kind of like how I guess they want the character to go, or like how him to react. And I think the third side about all of this, and I think the most important thing to Jazz is Hillary. One of the reasons why he really didn't take it is because he knew that Hillary is the one who said something. And Hillary, you're not going to break up with me, marry this other guy, and then still be around trying to help out and do all this. Like, no, I'm not with all that. Like I don't care what it is. I don't need, if I need help, I can ask somebody else. It don't have to be your dad. So I think that Jazz is split, seriously. He really doesn't know what's going on. And I love that about the show because in season one, he had all the answers. He helped Hillary do everything. He helped Will through everything. In season two, you kind of got to peel back some layers of Jazz, and so now season three is like, okay, we kind of know what Jazz is on. A lot of people have taken their sides. They think that what I'm on is stupid. A lot of people are on my side. I think that Jazz is still not trying to find himself, but figure out how to handle certain things. There's a couple of times where he's apologized to Hillary when we have like that kumbaya moment in my apartment, to where I said I let a lot of, I'm paraphrasing, but I said I let a lot of good things get away in my life. And I think that's Jazz really coming to terms with the fact that like he's so egotistical and he's so set and stuck in his ways that sometimes he doesn't see the other side of things. And that's not necessarily a bad thing all the time. Sometimes you have to stand 10 toes on whatever you believe in because that's what makes you who you are. And I think that he's fighting that because he's always been that way, but certain stuff is inevitable. So it's like, look, I mean, at the end of the day, you can fight all you want, but your shop might be gone. So if it's really up to you. So I think that Jazz still has a lot of, in a way, growing up to do. Even though he has grown, there are certain decisions that he still doesn't know how to handle when stuff hits the fan. So yeah, hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, because if you offer me $5 million, I'm dust.
You know
See,
what I'm
and that's
saying?
where we got to argue because we were talking about the moral compass of it all, and Uncle Phil's role in that. So we understood like we weren't justifying going out and committing arson and all of that,
Yeah,
but
no.
I understood Jazz's desire to stand on business as far as his family's legacy.
Yeah.
And I felt like, like Ron, and about to tell you about the argument, the debate. that Ron was like, well, Uncle Phil, Omar was his one client and everything. But I'm like, Uncle Phil is in Bel-Air. That even if there was no Omar, I felt like Uncle Phil had all these contacts. He is rich. He was running for DA at one point and stuff. And I felt like Uncle Phil had the clout to do just what he did in the season finale. That's what I wanted to see Uncle Phil do. I wanted him to be the bridge and bring Omar and the politicians and the community and small business together. That's what I knew that he had the ability to do because he had the gravitas and everything else to do it. So that's what I was saying. It was for him, for me, in our argument with Ron, I was saying it's about more than dollars and cents.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And I agree with you.
Yeah.
But
And
I
another
also believe this too, and I'm not on Uncle Phil's side, but I also am a firm believer that like, when I have kids and everything, like I came from, Inglewood, California, kind of struggled growing up. God has blessed me to be in the position that I'm in right now. So when I have my kids, like I don't want it to be hard for them. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to go through certain things that maybe I would have to go through.
Right.
So I think that there is a duality with Uncle Phil as well, because I mean, obviously with his whole entire character and everything that he does, and people thinking he's a sellout and all these things. to where it's like, look, Jazz, I have the means to like help you. And so I'm not asking you for to pay me back, nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to help you out because they're trying to take your stuff. So I can help you out, so let me try at least, you know? He didn't have to do that. Hillary could have been like, Dad, I need you to help Jazz out. And he'd be like, for what? Don't you have LaMarcus? Forget Jazz. I don't care. But he wasn't like that. So I felt that part too. But also you, Tiffany, I completely understand that it was like, look, you're a black man. You understand I'm a black man coming up. You understand the value and you understand exactly what I'm fighting for. Help me in that way. You know what I'm saying? And he ends up kind of coming around at the end. So yeah.
Yeah, I know you take her side with that beautiful red hair she got flowing and everything. I get it, man. I get it. Okay, I'm not that pretty, but I get it.
I'm agreeing with both. It's two sides.
Right.
Now, another thing that we argued about, if I could just ask you this before we let you go. We argued about the whole Hillary and Jazz meetup because we have this segment on our show we call Who Can Get the Hands. We gave Hillary the hands for that little last moment of closure because we like, girl, what are you doing over there? Now, you did say that some of the scenes and stuff get clipped up and cut out. Can you explain how that ring ended up in the shoe?
Oh, yeah.
Got you. Fair. Okay. So, number one, not really, but I can try to explain it. But this is what I think happened. I think that obviously you guys saw that like she woke up in the bed, but like fully clothed. We didn't do anything. I think it's just as simple as, we was doing a lot of stuff. Like we was smoking, like we was working out, we was like doing planks, but like that just insinuates that like we were probably doing a lot more stuff. That she could have took her ring off at a certain point. When she went to sleep, she could have took it. Also, I don't know how this goes. Like, if you're a wife, like, do you keep it on forever?
Forever.
So like no matter what,
she taking her ring off.
She wasn't married though.
So if you're married,
she wasn't married.
At the gym, you work out with your ring on.
With it on. The only time I'm taking it off is I'm cleaning some chicken.
But but look now, come on now. She wasn't married at the time. That's why y'all were getting closure. But my thing is, that's $100,000 ring that just does not fall off your finger by chance.
Hey, but keep in mind this. That's $100,000 ring to us, right? She come from money. She's not thinking about it's $100,000 ring.
That's true.
Yeah, I got your point. But to me,
and like you said, and we did a lot of stuff in that apartment. As you saw the montage, it was just insinuating that we was hanging out for a while. So that could have happened. She could have cooked something. It could have came off.
All right, Jazz.
Maybe I took it. Hey, season 4, you find out maybe I took it off.
Right.
That's my point. Now you're heading my direction.
Maybe Jazz is evil and he really like poisoned LaMarcus.
Well, Jazz, you were looking at that ring rather suspiciously to think about.
I was like, I could go pawn this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
it all adds up, man. It all adds up.
Yes, indeed. Does anybody have any closing remarks they want to make?
I got a quick question, if you don't mind. So on my channel, I had to pretty much dissect the dialogue between Jazz and Hillary at the finale of season 2, where Jazz states that love is hard. And you guys bring it up again this season. So let's say LaMarcus did kick the bucket and there was a chance for Hillary and Jazz to, rekindle something. Do you think Jazz is fit to be a affordable husband for Hillary? Or would Jazz have a point in his ego and say, no, I'm more fit for someone like Yolanda? Like, what do you think Jazz would do if he was proposed that situation with Hillary, like another option?
That's a great question. I think that kind of going back to what you said, season 2, and my lines in season 2, I'm a firm believer, kind of like in real life, at the end of the day, everybody who gets married, it's a journey that you go on, and everything is not going to be happy the whole entire time, but it's through the bad times. If we stay together, I know this is my person. And I think that's kind of what I'm telling her at the end of season 2. I don't remember exactly my lines, but but I think I'm paraphrasing and I'm saying that, love is hard. And she's like, can you promise me it's not going to hurt again? And I'm seriously answering seriously, not on some, I'm acting on emotions. yes, I promise it won't be hard. Just take me back, baby, please. It's not like that. I'm being honest with her where I'm like, I can't promise you nothing, but I'm willing to take that chance with you because no matter what, I've figured out that in my life, I love you. And at the end of the day, if we have ups and we have downs and stuff like that, I'm willing to go up and down with you. So I think that to answer your question, if that possibility does come about, where do we get back together again? I think Jazz is going to stand firm in what he said at the end of season 2, which is like, look, I've always loved you. I've loved you so much that I was going or willing to let you go and literally marry somebody in front of my face. And I flew across the country to give you the ring so he could marry you. So clearly I love you. And I got a certain love for you that's kind of unconditional to where no matter how we go through what we go through, I'm gonna love you regardless and sacrifice things in my life just off the strength of love for you. And so if we were to get there, it would kind of I feel like it would have to be something that Hillary would have to accept. Where it's like, do you love me so much through, like what do they say in the vow? Through sickness and health, for rich or for poor. Like, are you gonna stay with me no matter what? No matter if you get pissed at me, no matter if another dude come along, what do you want to do? I think Jazz has figured it out. And you can tell that through this. Yeah, we had episode 1 and 2. I'm kind of upset, but that's okay. We're human. It's human nature. You get bitter. I'm at this party. You're about to get engaged to this guy. Like, it kind of makes sense. But when it comes to action speaking louder than words, I pulled up at the hospital when he was going through it. Not you were at the hospital. Your husband was going through something at the hospital, and I still pulled up to check on you when I didn't have to. I flew all the way to Martha's Vineyard when I didn't have to. When you came to my house and pressed me about a girl when you're about to get engaged, I could have been like, girl, get out my house. What are you talking about?
Right.
But I didn't do that because I love her. And I'm like, yeah, let's hash it out. And then I let her go. I said, the next time I see you, you'll be Mrs. Alton. And I'm glad that you're happy. So I think Jazz has gotten to that point where he's already had his mistakes before and he lost her. So he's not trying to do that again. And he understands that, hey, man, like, I'm not perfect and you're not perfect, but I'm willing to do this throughout our imperfections. So I think that would be something that Hillary would have to kind of, I guess, not lower her standards, but I think one of the main things about Hillary and I love about her character is that, like, this is what women go through. It's like, look, there's a guy who can provide for me and I don't have to worry about nothing else for the rest of my life. This dude is in the NFL and I'm good. But the person that, like, I feel like I have more connection with is this guy. We can laugh together. We're more friends, and I really like this guy, but I don't feel as secure. It just depends as a woman, like, what are you willing to go through? A lot of women are like, nah, like, what, girl? You see that check, like, use bank account? Like, you better be with him.
That's true.
Even friends are like, you better be with him.
Yeah.
But the real one, like, sometimes it's like, nah, but this person makes me feel a certain way. So she's battling that, as rightfully she should. I would too. I would be like, look, if you would have asked me like what Hillary should do, I would have no clue. Forget that I'm Jazz. I'd be like, man, honestly, I mean, he do play for the Rams. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, I get it. Like, I feel like you can go either way. With the one, it's like, oh, I know that she loves him. And the other one's like, oh, I know I ain't gotta worry about her because he good.
Right.
So yeah, it's just what I think it's really comes down to Hillary, not Jazz.
And we get no prenup. And if he kicked the bucket, y'all can live off Lamarcus's money.
That's crazy.
Nasty word.
It sounds like the Notebook, though, the way you described it with the two guys. Sound like the Notebook, the movie.
Oh yeah, great movie, by the way. Great movie.
Well, I think all of this to say, like, we really, really enjoyed you, and we have been thoroughly enjoying your character this season. So looking forward to next season to see what y'all got up your sleeves.
Man, me too.
Thank you so much again for your time, for your patience with us. I know we are kind of a lot of questions, a lot of us, but
this is great. I love talking about it. My opinions. I love this. So thank you guys for having me, for real.
Yes, awesome.
Before you go, I want to say that I love the banter between you and Coco too, like off screen, because when we were at ABFF and they had the set with Bel-Air and everything, and I could see that you guys kind of go at it like Hillary and Jazz, like
I think the best part about this show, and shout out Vicky Thomas and Morgan Cooper, who Vicky Thomas was our casting director, Morgan was the showrunner, and like every character, and I mean, I can be biased, but I don't think I'm being biased saying this. Like, I just feel like we are casted so perfectly. And not just that, but on the outside, I say this too all the time that like in this acting world, we can do scenes together and have a good time. But when we clock out and go home, I don't have to talk to you. We don't have to be friends. The next day I see you, then we pick it back up. And it can be a loving relationship, but we just not cool like that. That's not Bel-Air, man. Like we talk to each other every day. We're in several group chats. Like we actually kick it outside. So when you see certain stuff on screen, it's so funny. I say this too a lot in interviews, and I'm like, a lot of times the lines and some stuff I probably would have said anyway. Like to Jabari being stupid about something or just being in my way. Like, yeah, you need to, like all of it. So it's just so interesting that you say that because how we actually are, a lot of us in real life, it kind of just reflects on screen. So me and Coco are cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Coco's great. But it's like off screen, on screen, we kind of just don't stop it. It's just,
I saw
it's just like, we talking whatever, and then action, we just kind of go.
It was hilarious seeing you two go back and forth, and I was like, oh, they like Jazz and Hillary for real.
Not for real, man.
The entire
such a pleasure to work with her and everybody. So,
I have to say that the entire cast is a perfect combination.
Solid.
Very, very seldom do you see everyone so much attuned to each other. So hats off to the producers, the writers, and you all, the actors, because I'm telling you, it's like it's real. And that's why Tiffany and I have such a battle when it comes to this show. Because
I'm telling you, I'm playing referee every week.
Yeah, Tiara has to referee, and she has to at some point say, "Y'all just shut up and let us finish the show." So, but it's real.
No, that's funny, man. That's funny. That's great though. That's how you know it's a good show. People debating and stuff. Like,
yes.
That's the greatest part. People are like, yo, so Team Jazz, Team LaMarcus, like, how do you feel about that? And I'm like, dude, the fact that there even is a Team Jazz, Team LaMarcus, I don't care what side you on. That's just telling me that y'all mess with the storylines enough to pick a side and verbally defend and publicly defend these characters. I'm like, you can be whatever team you want to be on for real.
Engagement through the roof on this show.
Yes, we even put Hillary on our hands list. We were like, oh no, who can get the hands? And we love Coco, we love Hillary. Got some of Coco's songs downloaded on my phone, and everything, but we put Hillary on the hands list for some of her actions.
Yeah,
I would too. I ain't gonna lie. She got me messed up on some of these things. She got me messed up.
Yeah, she's been a little wishy-washy.
But again, Jordan, we want to thank you so much, and we are welcome to having you back anytime. So if you ever have a free moment, especially when season 3 comes back out, we are down to do this again.
The new season, I would love for us to come back, talk about season 4.
Yes, please do.
Well, thank you again. We appreciate it, and we will look forward to seeing you next time. We're definitely gonna follow you in all of your work and
thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, man.
For sure.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.